Yes, we're at the parade.
We were in that a long time. In the,
Hey, music for this, huh? Good morning, Attleboro. My name is Emily Johnson, and I'm happy to announce I'll be joined today with Attleboro's veteran agent, Carl Bradshaw. We will be providing commentary on the parade this fine Memorial Day 2015 on behalf of AACS Channel 15. Carl, welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is exciting. I got to say, I've never done color commentary before, but I'm looking forward to it.
And I know you're very busy this time of year. Running your department is no small matter, but this just adds to it.
Yeah, and this is, one of the most fun things we do. So I'm happy to be here, and we got a heck of a parade we put together this year for the city.
I see the lead car is just going by now. How long does it take for you to actually put the festivities together?
Well, for this one, we really started last September with the 100th, and we tried to get some organizations in this parade. So we started back then, really get hot and heavy in it probably around March. And it's usually the same elements, so it's a little bit easier to put together than the 100.
See some motorcycles going before us now, and here comes the Attleboro Police Honor Guard.
Yeah, they're award-winning too. They just won the drill and ceremony competition down in Newport. So congratulations to the Honor Guard.
They do such a great job. You know, they represent the Attleboro Police Department, its officers, families, and they consist, of course, of the Attleboro police officers.
I think we have
here
Chief
comes
Hegney.
something I love. This is their refurbished car.
Yeah, it looks like we have Chief Hegney driving it.
Is that his son? Oh, that's great. Look
Yep.
at that. I was talking to the mechanic, too. I don't know if they got the siren going on that thing, but just unbelievable, because they've changed so much throughout the
Yeah,
ages.
and the kids in the cars have been throwing out candy, so that's nice.
Cute. Look at that little one. You know, this is a memory for
You know, this is one element of the parade that I actually changed, Emily. I put the police up front, and I thought they should kind of clear the route for us, and they are Attleboro's finest, so I think it's a great place for them to be.
Good thinking, and I'll tell you, there's quite a few cruises out here.
Yeah.
Are you given privy to how many are going to be in, actually, the parade?
As far as total number of participants? It
As
looked
far
like-
as the cruisers or might be assigned that day.
Yeah, it looks like around 10 or so. We got the Grand Marshal coming up here shortly.
Okay. And the Grand Marshal today is Raymond Carl Oberg.
I like that middle name.
I like that middle name myself.
Yeah, and
there's
Ray's
the
still a
crowd
very
there.
active member of the post. He takes care of, what's the name of that cemetery? Oak Knoll and what is it? Hillside.
Hillside. He was born on June 10th in 1931 and was raised in Pawtucket, making him nearly 84 years young.
And he
Ray's-
is young. He's a good guy.
How long have you known Ray?
Oh, for the 5.5 years I've been here, he's very active at the post. He is just the nicest guy in the world. And one of my, I was really lucky to be able to help him with his VA claim recently, and that was approved.
Oh,
So
and there they are.
yeah.
And they're being driven by Don and Judy Forget in a 1956 Ford Sunliner, accompanied, of course, by his wife Marjorie Holberg.
Yeah, they're all good friends. These two couples here.
So Ray did photographic forensic expert from 1951 to 1955 with the Air Force
Yeah.
in special investigations.
Yeah.
Up, and here's Ed Stanton carrying the colors. And here's another one that does a great job.
Yeah, Ed does everything. He's my go-to man. He can take care of anything. Great guy.
He is
I
unbelievable.
see John Bouchard carrying the POW MIA and Gary Middleton with one of the post flags. Looks like Colonel Julie Hall's up there as part of the honor guard.
She's great too. I just had the privilege of meeting her this year. Nice, nice woman.
There's our veterans van, and the van takes veterans to the VA hospitals Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday to Providence, Wednesday to Boston, either West Roxbury or Jamaica Plain, and on Fridays to Brockton.
Another great addition to the city. I'm not quite certain that all cities have those vans.
No, I don't think many do, actually. And that was all private fundraising, help with the Elks, and they got it together. It's a great service that we provide.
What do we have here?
Yeah, it looks like I see John Vandal's father down there. And what we did was we put a lot of the convertibles up front with the veterans because they help carry a lot of our veterans through the parade. And as you can see, most of them do have a veteran in it. I see, looks like Dick McCurney, who works in my office. We call him the general.
I love him.
But he does the scheduling for the vans.
Yep.
You know, he's there every morning helping us out and does a great job.
And up and coming.
It looks like we have, this is a first too. We did this for the 100th anniversary, but we had floats made, and as you can see, the veterans float there. It's nice and patriotic, and it carries
beautiful.
along our veterans who don't want to walk. Looks sharp, doesn't it?
Unbelievable. They did do something a little different this year with it, I think.
Yeah.
And they're holding the flags. I know that they put flags on the graves of the veterans with the help of the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and the American Legion every year. I don't know what the official count was this year.
Right around 3,000 flags we put on graves.
Amazing.
Yeah. And that's actually part of the Massachusetts general law. All towns have to place them on the veterans' grave sites, so we're happy to do that.
And there they are carrying the
I noticed the
sign.
crowd won't stop applauding. That's good.
That float really is outstanding.
Isn't that nice?
Who is responsible for that?
Well, it comes out of Medway. It's called Rohe Decorating.
Okay.
And we have two this year. We have the veterans one and we have the city float that the elected officials are going to be on. And right behind them is the Disabled American Veterans from North Attleboro. So it's good to have local community veterans joining in the fun.
Perfect. You know, and I know you do so much for the veterans. Didn't really want to bring it up during the parade, but I guess this is going to be your last big event.
Yeah, it is. It is. I took a
an
position
official.
up where I live in Northbridge. So I'm going to be a district VSO up there. That'll stop my 45-minute commute each way. But I'm going to say that I'll definitely miss Attleboro. I grew up here. It's been a real honor and privilege to be the VSO here.
And this
you know.
won't be the last we see of you.
No,
I
definitely
fully
not.
intend on asking you to co-host again next year.
Okay, I got to see what the schedule is in Northbridge, but if I can make it here, I will. I got so many family and friends. My father lives here. My niece and nephew and brand new great niece Juliana live here, so I'm happy to come down here and be a part of this.
Oh, and this, you know, this is part of the parade I love. It's the antique cars.
Yeah, and we got them up front here because they do, again, they help with carrying our veterans along.
Yeah.
You know.
And I know I did speak with an official from the antique cars. Bob and June Smith is the fine owner of the 51 Black Cherry Mercury convertible.
Yeah, that
Where
looks
is
beautiful.
that?
That's amazing, huh? And he's got Henry Brousseau in there with him.
Okay.
He's a Korean-era veteran. He's our post chaplain. He often does the invocations and benedictions for us.
And what does this one look like here, Carl?
You know, we got. I think Chief Churchill is driving this black one. Is that a Ford or?
Is that his? Oh yeah, that's his pride and joy. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
It's another great one. Yeah, you see him flying around town in that.
Oh, all right. Yeah, it's nice. Keeps it in good shape, huh? An Impala.
Yep.
All right. That must be Chevy then, right? Chevy
I would
Impala.
think so, yes. Actually, I didn't have privy that he was going to be in the parade today.
Oh yeah.
I
He
knew
slipped
he was,
right in.
I thought he'd be marching, not driving. Up and up and coming.
Here comes the Rehoboth Minutemen. And you might find it interesting that I had to put them way up front this year because they're having an event in Rehoboth after this. So I put them in Division A, as far forward as possible, and they're going to get over to do another ceremony in Rehoboth.
Yeah, they do some great things. You know, they were actually originally chartered from the town of Rehoboth in 1774. And the unit was active until 1840, at which time the unit disbanded, and now the company has reorganized and commissioned in 1992 by the town of Rehoboth for their 350th anniversary celebrations. And you know what, Carl? They've taken part in parade ceremonies, encampments, and battle reenactments ever since.
It's great
But
to keep
I
our
like
history
watch
alive.
them dress. Look
Yeah.
at how they're dressed.
Well, I'm glad it's not too hot out today because those uniforms look like they could be extremely warm.
I think that the uniforms they wear today in full gear, they're pretty hot too.
Looks like they might be getting ready to fire again. Another volley.
There we go. Nice shot right in front of the camera now. Up.
This is a new addition this year.
Ah.
Mexico Lindo Mariachi Band.
Listen to them.
Yeah, we had them for the
La
100th, and
Bamba.
I asked if they could make it to this, and they responded they could, so we're lucky to have them.
And of course, they share the rhythm of Latin music. See how much of the crowd gets dancing now.
Right
You gotta
behind
love
them.
that flag sticking right off the guitar.
Oh, there you go, yeah. Oh. Right behind them are the Elks, one of my favorite organizations in the city of Attleboro. They do a lot for veterans. They do a lot for the patriotism we see around here. One of the things they do is they donated 50 flags that you see on the flag poles, the light poles in the city. They also take care of our annual flag burning ceremony. They're handing out 4,000 miniature flags today.
That's amazing.
Yeah, isn't that great?
That flag ceremony, where do you know anything about when that's going to happen? That's when you dispose of the flags, correct?
Yeah, and if anybody has flags that they need to get rid of, obviously you don't throw them out. You can bring them to the Veterans Office. You can drop them off at the Elks. The veterans and us get together with the Elks, and we burn them in October. Yeah.
A ceremony that's performed for it.
And we have the Boy Scouts involved in that as well, so they get to know the proper way to take care of flags. And you can see right there, I think I see Alan Ashley, and he's handing out the flags. Yes, my alma mater, Bishop Fan.
Really?
There they come. Yep, class of 1981. They're looking sharp.
They've been around only since 1961, but that school has grown tremendously.
My first 2 years at Bishop Fan, I was in the band. I played the alto saxophone. So I've been down there doing that.
So now I'm hearing all
Yeah, I
this.
know. I told you this parade was large. We still have more convertibles coming, more antique cars coming.
Actually, the Bishop Fan band actually ends the Division A.
Yeah, we're still in Division A. We're waiting for the city float and the elected officials to come by.
Okay, little bit out of place here.
Yeah. This year we do have Congressman Joe Kennedy with us. It looks like some of the elected officials preferred to walk instead of be on the float, but that's okay.
You know, I would imagine that it's just as much fun to walk as it is to ride.
Sure, absolutely.
Do a little interaction with the crowd.
Some more nice old cars, and like you can see, that looks like, is that George Serper down there? Looks like George Serper, World War II Navy veteran.
They're all waving their flags.
George was the Grand Marshal last year along with the Kissin Sailor. We don't have the Kissin Sailor this year, but had a couple of Navy Grand Marshals
That
last
was
year.
great. What an
Yeah.
interesting story that was. You never know. And what
And that's
do
the
we have
city
here?
float right
There it
there.
is.
Yeah. It's one of 2 floats we have this year.
It's Paul Hero front, and it looks like Heather Perica.
Yeah.
Who else do we have?
Peter
Mr.
Blair.
Blaze. Blair.
There's Joe Kennedy on the right side there in his light blue shirt. Got Kate Jackson out there. She's going to be speaking for Senator Timilty at the ceremony.
Okay. Oh. A man and his dog.
Yeah. You got Mayor Dumas up there and President
There he
Cook,
is.
Rick Conti, Brian Kirby, Walter Thibodeau. We have Representative Poirier and our collector, Deb.
There it is. Nice clean shot. They do great things for the city of Attleboro.
Definitely.
Mr. Cook, Mayor Dumas. Oh, there is Walter Thibodeau.
It's the Attleboro Public Library, it looks
And
like.
the Attleboro Public Library. Here they come. I think, yep, Crystal Brown, children's librarian, Julian Amaral, reader service coordinator, and Mrs. Megan Wetherill, teen librarian, marching today with some of the library volunteers today. Attleboro High School.
Did you graduate from there, Emily?
I did not
Oh.
Attleboro.
Oh, okay.
I worked in Attleboro all my life, however.
Oh, okay. They're sounding good.
They're great.
Cheerleaders right behind them.
Uniforms. Up, drum section.
There's the cheerleaders. Maybe we're going to get
There
a
we
special
go.
cheer, huh?
It's nice just to listen to them. They spend a lot of time practicing for these events.
They're an award-winning organization, I believe, as well,
Yeah.
right?
Most
I know
definitely.
they've gone to some competitions and come home with the
Little
gold,
tyke.
so that's good.
Tell me a little, what do we got here? The cheerleaders. You know, that's actually a sport now. It's considered a sport,
Oh, wow. Okay.
which I think
Well, you
it
got to be
should.
quite athletic, don't you?
You really do,
We've got the Bourbonnais here. Another reenactment group,
right?
certainly with a French background, French-Canadian, I'm going to assume. And we might get a rifle volley out of them, too.
Okay. Yeah, the Bourbonnais. They go back to 1780 when the regiment was sent to America to help General Washington defeat the British, believe it or not.
And we have the Ezekiel Bates Mason's Lodge here.
Another great organization.
It's good to have them into the parade. We had them for last year for the first time, so I'm glad they're back.
I didn't realize that they really are one of the oldest fraternities and largest. Go back to 1870.
Looking sharp.
The little one. Look at the little wave. I think that's Mr. Friedman, son. Yeah. Yep. She. There's Dylan. Perfect. They're all along the edges there. Waving away, waving away. What do we have coming up?
The Yankee Fife and Drum. I kind of like this organization. They do a lot of things. They fire. What? Hang on to your hat. There you go. And they play music, and they're reenactors. They kind of do it all. We get them back every year, and we're lucky to have them.
So basically, you have a list that you check off every year, and you hope that they're going to come.
Yeah.
Perfect.
This is sounding good.
I think that sound is synonymous with colonial America anyway. They consisted mainly of citizen soldiers, which I didn't realize. And today, the fife and drum corps are dedicated to preserving the ancient art and music of the fife and drums. Oh, just lovely. Look at them. What do we have coming up here?
Yeah, for the first time, we're going to have the Royal Rangers with us.
I did a little research on that one, and that started in 1962, offering leadership education to boys and young men. So it's really a young group.
I didn't realize they were going to be this large. That's a sharp-looking organization.
Oh, look at them. Fantastic.
Led by a nice honor guard.
I guess the organization is all over the world and organized into districts. The Southern New England district consists of Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island.
Yeah, and this group found me. I got a call or an email one day, and I said, sure, well, we'd love to have you in the parade.
So it appears they really followed the military protocol.
Yeah.
You were telling me how long your career was, Carl.
24 years.
24 years. You
Joined
started
right out
when?
of Bishop Fan in 1981, right out of high school at 17 years old. And was in the reserves while I went through college, and then went on active duty in 1985 for a little over 20 years on active duty as a military intelligence officer.
Well, I'll tell you, you've done a wonderful job.
Thanks.
Oh, we have the Girl Scouts coming in front of us.
There we go.
We do a lot of work with organizations in town, the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. Austin Ricketts just did a PSA, a public service announcement with the Girl Scouts.
Oh, good.
So they come in and do tours.
The Boy Scouts help us out with the flags, putting them on the grave markers, so that's
Yeah, you
certainly
know,
helpful.
it's a good way, it's a good time that we should be teaching our youth. Got a pretty good group coming in.
Yeah. I guess I see brownies as well.
Oh yeah, the
Right.
whole troop. I don't know if you know the history of the Girl Scouts, but Juliet Gordon Lowe, seeing the positive effect on the Girl Scout self-esteem, decided to take a program that she actually started in Britain to America. And she did that with the founder of the Boy Scouts.
Oh, wow.
And hence we have it.
I think I hear the Hills Mills Clown Band coming.
They're great.
Another steal from the 100th anniversary. Yeah, fun
They'll
for
be
the
ours
kids, right?
forevermore,
Yeah.
one would hope. Oh, they're
So we
pretty
were able to
snappy,
get,
huh?
yeah, they're going at it. We were able to get 3 extra bands this year, and this is one of them.
Say everyone loves the clown. Here we have
They're really going at it now, huh?
it. Oh, they're really jamming. Nice outfits. What do you think, Carl?
Yeah. Nice and bright, huh? And you see the kids getting into it, right? So I figured I'd put
Become
them
the
right
Boy
between the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts. So here we go with
Yeah.
the Boy Scouts now.
Boy Scouts marching right behind.
Put the ladies before the gentlemen.
As it should be.
I don't know, Emily. We did a pretty good job of marshaling them this year. Most of them are in the correct order, huh?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Really not too bad. But you know, you do a good job every year. I love those little faces.
Who's going to win the head count award this year for the most participants? The Girl Scouts or the Boy Scouts?
I'm kind of thinking it might be the Girl Scouts. We'll see. I
Yeah.
haven't seen the whole lineup yet. I'm only watching what's in front of the camera.
It's tough. It's pretty close, huh?
Can't tell. I can't tell just yet.
I
Do
see
you know what the
some.
Boy Scout motto is?
Yeah, be prepared, right?
Aha!
Yeah. I was a Boy Scout. I was a Cub Scout and a Boy Scout down in South Attleboro.
I was a den mother, so that's as
Oh,
far
okay.
as I went. I wasn't a Boy Scout.
You know, they have the badges. I'm not sure what the ranks are anymore. I know I wasn't an
No,
Eagle
I
Scout,
don't
but
either. But you know, I interviewed Dee Cortez, Girl Scout, and something that really just kind of passed over, not thinking. You can be a Girl Scout. You can be a Boy Scout, whatever gender you are, because you're helping as a leader.
right. Yeah, definitely.
Ah, they've stopped in front of us. The Anawan Council is a local council of the Boy Scouts of America, and they're headquartered in Norton, Massachusetts. Did you know that?
No. Huh.
They're on the move again.
I don't know. The Boy Scouts might have the Girl Scouts beat this year. It's
They
a pretty
might,
big crew.
You know, I think if we put them all together,
Yeah.
we could probably have a little dance, a little jamboree.
Right.
So a scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful,
Friendly,
friendly,
courteous,
kind, obedient,
cheerful,
cheerful, thrifty, brave,
clean,
clean,
and
and
reverent.
reverent. Oh my goodness, I'm tired.
I suppose that I once had that memorized and knew that in that exact order. I'm sure I did. Hey, we're getting a salute here.
Okay,
All right.
we are.
I prefer to use all five fingers.
I think you're getting the salute.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't know. They did both sides of the road. I think they're covering all aspects of this parade. Good job, Boy Scouts of America.
Looking good. Looks like we have a little camp out here in that truck.
I love those tents. I haven't gone camping in a dog's age.
Yeah, me either. I got a timeshare, so I kind of camp in luxury when I go on vacation, you know?
It's allowed. So what is up and coming here?
Looks like the Relay for Life. Then they help out the American Cancer Society.
Yeah, they do a lot of work for the Cancer Society. And the teams make a difference by raising money and walking in local American Cancer Society Relay for Life events. At that event, teams take turns walking around the track to raise money and bring awareness to help the American Cancer Society in the world's largest movement to end cancer. Saving lives from cancer starts with one team, one participant, and $1 at a time. And here they go.
And it looks like right behind them is Burt Buckley from the Clam Shack.
Not quite seeing them in view yet, but I think you might be right.
We're getting towards the end of the third division.
Tell me a little bit about flag etiquette. Now on Memorial Day, the flag is raised to the top staff of
And
the
then,
staff?
yep, and then down to half staff in the morning.
Okay.
And it stays there until noon. And then at noon, we bring it up to full staff again. So for about half of the day, we have it at half staff and memorializing and remembering those who made the ultimate sacrifice, which means they were killed in action in combat. And then for the second half, we recognize that life goes on and we should have a more positive outlook and thank veterans for their service.
glad you shared that with us today. I think a lot of people don't realize all of that information.
Yeah.
Clam Shack did just go by. Hey, Bert. And what do we have here, Carl?
This for the first time. This is what they call a deuce and a half. It's a military cargo truck, basically. It can carry troops. It can carry ammunition. It's been the workhorse for a good 40 years in the military. This is a refurbished one and an old one. But I rode many a times in a deuce and a half, and it, like I said, was a workhorse in our wars.
And behind that,
That's looking good. They did a good job on that.
they did do a good job. And up and coming,
Oh, I think this is Colonel Bailey's 2nd Mass Regiment.
Colonel Bailey.
Another steal from the 100th parade. Yep.
Good thing
So-
we had that 100th. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
They said they could be with us, so we're happy to have them along, and they're looking good. I think they already fired their volley, though, right? Oh, they might be getting ready to do it again. We'll see.
I think so.
So this is their first time with us in the Memorial Day parade. Right behind them is the Hot Tamale Band.
Hot tamale, you say.
Again, another steal from the 100. So this is the 3rd band that we were able to get as a result of the 100th anniversary parade. And
They
give us a
offer excursions into New Orleans,
oh, nice.
Mardi Gras, and Dixieland Jazz. I guess they perform at pre-game shows at Fenway Park, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And the benefactors, the Dance Factory. So
Ah,
they got some good music to listen to on their way during this parade, you know?
they are great.
Look at all of them. That's a big crowd.
That's Jamie.
I didn't know we had this many dancers in Attleboro.
There are so many great organizations in Attleboro. I'm telling you, look at this. I mean, they go all out for this. It's a big deal to them.
Yeah, look at it. They got their floats, their miniature floats, if you will.
Yeah.
Wow, what a crew.
You know, we used to all get together and make the floats and order pizza, and it was just a nice activity for everyone to get involved with. Ah! There we go, wave at the camera.
So it looks like we have the YMCA coming up.
YMCA is another one. I'm telling you, they do so much for the city, so much.
It looks like they have some kind of theme this year. I see folks that are all dressed up in different costumes.
They're more than just a gym. They're a cause.
All right.
Wow, look at this. It might
Is
be
that
a
Captain
little-
America or something
yeah,
like that?
Might be. Nice salute to the camera there. Oh, the Incredible Hulk. I think we might be looking at superheroes. What do you think, Carl?
Yeah, definitely. That's the theme.
Oh, fabulous.
When you start hearing the fire trucks, you know you're getting towards the end. This is
Tell
Section
me
D.
a little bit about the ceremonies that will go after the parade. Now we're at Capron Park, so anybody can join us there.
Yeah, so immediately following this, we have a fairly somber ceremony, but almost like the half staff going up, you know, at noon. We split it up where it's more somber at the beginning, and then we have a more, you know, crescendo and positive thing at the end. So this year, for the second time, we're going to read the names of those who, in Attleboro, veterans have passed away in the last year. Ed Stanton keeps track of that list throughout the year, and it's somewhere around 75 to 80 for the last 2 years that have passed away that were veterans associated with Attleboro. So we'll read that list.
Love that part of the ceremony. They ring the bell after each one.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have taps and honors right after that. Joe Kennedy's gonna be speaking, and something unique this year. We are going to be designated a Purple Heart City.
Really?
So the Military Order of the Purple Heart will have their Massachusetts delegation, the leaders of that Massachusetts section, come here and give us a plaque in honoring the city of Attleboro after a declaration by the mayor to become a Purple Heart City.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful.
So that's unique and special. And I'll also be saying my goodbye, I think, at this
Oh,
ceremony. So,
you
um,
know, very bittersweet because
yeah.
I know that it's your hometown.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
miss
it's
it.
been a long time coming, but we will miss you.
But thankfully, I'll be back. I shall return, as MacArthur once said.
They're rounding the corner now, boy. I'll tell you, you can hear those sirens when they start coming in front of you.
And right at
and
the
just
very end, we see
quickly,
Chief LaChance.
After the ceremonies, you got something else going on?
Yeah, then there's going to be a collation at American Legion Post 312 on Newport Ave. So we're going to have a cookout. We'll have some face painting. We'll have a DJ, stuff for the kids. So yeah, that should be a good time. Al Vayu down there is the manager of the Post. He does great work for us. And that looks like it's the end of the parade, Emily. Does that mean I get released?
Yeah, I think
I see my nieces down there. Kate and Molly, wave up here. No, they can't hear me.
They can't. Can't hear anything over those sirens.
And the timing's good. I mean, I was hoping we'd be done by 11:30, but we're even ahead of schedule.
Pretty good time. So when those fire trucks go by, that does signal the onset of the ceremonies that will follow at Capron Park. So I think I'm going to lose my co-host here momentarily because you got to get down there.
I need to go get ready for the ceremony and make sure everything's in order and we're ready to do it. So,
You're
but
everywhere today.
It's been fun, Emily.
It's been great. Thank
and I hope I can come back here sometime. And,
I'm telling you, I'm going to be after you for next year. We'll see what happens.
Great. Well, thank you for having me.
All right.
God bless Attleboro.
And that ends our parade today, Memorial Day 2015. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Emily.
Ladies and gentlemen, please find your places. Please find your places. The ceremony will begin in 3 minutes. Talk louder? Okay. Talk louder. Okay. We're going to have some songs from the Coastline Show Chorus. Everybody please find their seats. We'll start in 3 minutes. All the things that happen in life can happen in a show. If you make a laugh, anything can go. That's entertainment. The lights on the main on the bride with the gang at the side or the ball where she gives him her all. That's entertainment.
I'm also on them, so
Again, you must say who is after his ex. It can be Oedipus Rex, where a chap kills his father, it causes a bother. The clerk who is thrown out of work by the boss, who is thrown for a loss by the skirt, who is more than a flirt. The stage is a world. It might be a fight like you see on the screen, the swing for the love of the queen. Dressing in drag on the land for a murderous scam in the way. It's the Hollywood way. The world is a stage is a world of entertainment. The lights are I have a very loud voice, but it's great to have the microphone. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Colonel Julie Hall, and I'm a member of the Attleboro War Veterans Council. On behalf of the City of Attleboro and the War Veterans Council, it is my honor and my pleasure to welcome you to our Memorial Day ceremony. Please stand and remain standing for our national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the invocation, which will be given by Father Riley Williams of St. Vincent de Paul Parish. Veterans, attend, hut. Present, home.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. All the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please remain at attention and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order, arms. Father Williams, please.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, on this day we enjoy and appreciate again the many gifts that you give us, the gifts of freedom, of family, of the love we share with one another in this community and in this nation. On this day we remember those who gave of themselves that we may enjoy these gifts, of those who gave even the ultimate sacrifice. We ask that you would grant them a place in your kingdom, and us to continue to build upon the foundation which they laid, you who live and reign forever and ever. Amen. In the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father Williams. Everybody please be comfortable. Please be comfortable. Memorial Day is the time for Americans to reconnect to their history and to the core values by honoring those who gave their lives for the ideals that we cherish. More than 1 million American service members have died in the wars and conflicts this nation has fought since the first colonial soldiers took up arms in 1775. They were fighting for their independence. Each person who died during those conflicts has a loved one cherished by family and friends. Each was a loss to the community and to the nation. We will now honor the veterans who have answered the final roll call since the last Memorial Day. The names were collected by Ed Stanton from the Sun Chronicle over the past year and from friends and relatives. If the veteran at any time called Attleboro home, was educated here, or is identified with Attleboro, the name is included. I'm going to ask Ray Oberg to please come forward and now read the names. Thank you.
The names read as follows. Carmen L. Gus Rocha, Air Force. Carly Otto, Navy. Joseph Wiley Flacco, Navy. Robert R. Southberg, Army. Salvatore Sam C. Pinio, Army. Leonard F. Morningham, Army. Royal E. Penny, Coast Guard. Francis O. Paul, Navy. Frederick W. Mailer Jr., Army. Alvaro J. Oliveira, Air Force. James E. Tinker, Army Air Force. James H. Roby. Harry James Stubby Borden, Coast Guard. Bruce C. Camere. Robert E. Allen, Air Force. Arthur Lawrence Nelson, Air Force. Dr. Arthur William Volpe Jr., Army. Donald D. Dugas, Navy. Roland E. Carroll, Marine Corps. Joseph Oliver Castro Jr., Navy. Thomas Francis Clinton, Army. Dr. Donald Earl Lowe, Navy. Stephen T. Sicard, Army. John W. Wilson, Navy. Dr. L. Linton Golder Jr., Army. Michael D. McDonald, Army. Milton Harold Wade, Air Force. Nicholas Albert Tadero, Navy. Michael E. McCluskey, Navy. Edward R. Hamilton, Navy. Joseph A. Oliver, Army. Henry Hank V. Janess, Navy. Charles Henry Bellevance, Navy. Paul A. Fitzgerald Jr., Marine Corps. Robert E. Haggerty, Army. Richard Duke Austin Cooper, Army. Robert Peterson, Navy. Russell F. W. Stearns, Air Force. William J. Crowley Jr., Air Force. Marjorie H. Bailey, Navy. Robert Franklin Mayers Jr., Army. Louis E. Nye, Army. Alphonse J. Silva, Navy. Armand Dumont, Army. Wayne F. Engler, Marine Corps. Wendell Jakes, Marine Corps. Joel Elvis Walsh, Marine Corps. Terry L. Richards, Navy. Lawrence P. Ferrara, Air Force. Albert A. Martelli, Sr., Navy. Francis D. Camara, Army. Robert Dennis Adams, Army. William H. O'Neill, Jr., Navy. Patrick W. Gorman, Sr., Navy. Robert L. McDonald, Army. Thomas G. Kaczynski, Army. Robert F. Maskell, Navy. Joseph Gerald Laguerre, Army. Dale Hopkinson, Air Force. Joseph Leon Marquez, Army. Alan Leo St. Pierre, Air Force. James M. Quinn, Army. Leon T. Wankowski, Navy. Robert Benson, Army. Jacob Nakashian, Navy. George A. Fredette, Jr., Air National Guard. Francis R. DeMayo, Air Force. Ronald O. Germain, MD, Army. Walter A. Dorraz, Army. Kenneth L. Whitney, Army. Albert Ainsworth, Jr., Navy. Alfred J. Spadoni, Air Force. Barry McClenny, Navy. Arthur A. Booton, Navy. Dr. Harold Joseph Thompson, Air Force. James Luke McIntyre, Army. Donald Carr O'Brien, Army. Elwood Roy Davis, Army. Russell Marchand, Navy. Raymond Doulette, Army. Edward M. Wasilewski, Navy. Harold J. Spencer, Coast Guard. George Tootsie Duquette, Navy. Norman C. Prue, Air Force. Justino Sonny Marcella, Air Force. Ferdinand Anthony Pimentel, Army. Anthony Tony Randall, Navy. David J. Foley, Army. Charles R. Raposa, Charlie Raposa, Navy. Harold A. Fuller, Hal Fuller, Marine Corps. Russell A. Allen, Navy. J. Carl Hanscom, Army. Ernest Paul Harrison, Navy. Robert J. Gilmore, Army. John A. Divisano, Sr., Navy. Ernest W. Nye, Army. Charles W. Butler, Army. Richard C. Dick Wilkins, Jr., Navy. Francis Frederick LaPlante, Army. Renee Gingras, Army. James H. Roberts, Navy. Abram H. Lefebvre, Army. Carl E. Striner, Jr., Navy. Here ends the reading of the names of those who have passed on.
Yep. Thank you, Ray. Please rise, face the flag for the rendering of honors and the playing of taps. Present arms. Order. Arms. Please join me in a round of applause for Attleboro's own Coastline Show Chorus.
Speakers
Every mountainside, let freedom ring, let freedom ring. Let music resound throughout the nation, and let it celebrate sweet liberty that is keeping us free and strong. Let freedom ring, and let everyone share its inspiration.
If you have to touch it, just go ahead and do what you gotta do. Don't try and be
Let
quiet.
the promise not be satisfied until no one's denied. Song is a dream to build up Bilbao. We take the dream and pass it on and on and on and let freedom sing. Let freedom ring, let freedom ring. For the children of every generation, may the love of freedom always ring. It has brought us this far, it proclaims who we are, and together we sing, let freedom ring, let freedom ring, sing, let freedom ring, sing all over the world, let freedom ring, people all over the sing, let freedom ring, sing, let freedom ring, sing all over the world, let freedom ring, people all over the sing, let freedom ring, sing, let freedom ring, sing, let freedom ring, let it ring, freedom ring, freedom.
Thank you, ladies. Everybody can be seated at this time. Thank you so much. We're going to bring up our first speaker. Our first speaker is Congressman Joe Kennedy III, representing our 4th Congressional District. Congressman Kennedy, please come forward.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for including me in an extraordinary celebration this morning. Seeing the thousands of people around the streets of Attleboro. I want to congratulate Mayor Dumas for another incredible celebration. Mr. Mayor, well done. To the City Council and all those parade organizers this morning, congratulations on a job extraordinarily well done. To our men and women in uniform are gathered here today. Sometimes thank you doesn't come close. And today is certainly one of those times. Unfortunately, there are times when we ask simple phrases to capture extraordinary sentiments. Looking back over my shoulder is a 9/11 memorial. To my right, the Civil War memorial. All of us listened for a very long time to hear names of those men and women who called Attleboro home at some point over the course of their lives, who passed on over the course of the past year. We live in very challenging times, continue to rely on the extraordinary burdens and broad shoulders of our men and women in uniform and their families who serve just as bravely these United States. I ask that may the rest of us continue to fight for a country that is worthy of the sacrifice that they and their families make. Thank you very, very much for including me in an extraordinary celebration today. Thank you. for recognizing the extraordinary commitment of our men and women in uniform. Thank you.
You remain here for a minute. Congressman Kennedy, and I'd like to ask Lisa Nelson to please come up also. Is she here?
She couldn't, she had to run off.
Okay, well then you get 2 coins. So we are very honored to have Congressman Kennedy here. And what we'd like to do is honor, as the military people, we have a tradition of the coin. Now, we won't go through the whole story, but if you meet him in a bar somewhere, you know what to do, right? All right. So Congressman Kennedy, we want to present you and to Lisa, if you'd make sure that you get that. We're honored to have you with the Attleboro Veteran Service coin. Thank you. Our next speaker is State Representative Betty Poirier. Betty, would you please come to the speaker?
Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to be here today with all of you. And I want to begin by thanking Julie Hall for the wonderful job she's done today. And of course, Carl Bradshaw, our veterans agent, who is soon to be leaving us. So please give him a great round of applause for all the good work he's done. And of course, to the mayor and the city council and the angelic voices of the chorus behind me. Their voices are incredible, and it puts us all in the mood for what we're celebrating today. My appreciation goes out to all our public safety personnel as well, our police and our fire, for all they do for us each and every day. They are soldiers in their own right. On this Memorial Day, it's our turn to demonstrate our respect and admiration to all of our veterans, but more importantly, to remember and appreciate their sacrifices. That indeed is a difficult duty to appropriately pay tribute to those who died in the cause of freedom. These were no ordinary men and women who rose to meet seemingly impossible odds and did extraordinary deeds. These men and women left the safety of their sovereign soil to defeat tyrants, as well as to ensure justice and fulfill the promise of safety and security to all our citizens in the global community. Their lives were dedicated not to conflict or death, but to compassion and life. We have all been touched by the ultimate sacrifice that our soldiers have made in service to our country, as well as the suffering it has brought to mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, spouses, children, and friends. On this hallowed day, we must all remember that freedom and the blessing it brings often exact the ultimate sacrifice. From the first days of this nation's history, Americans have been willing to step forward and make that sacrifice in defense of our nation. On this Memorial Day, the voices of those who have fallen echo in our memories, and we are comforted by the heritage of courage that they have established for us. The men and women in the armed forces are today's patriots. They have committed their lives to keep the United States strong and ready. The quality of their deeds and their devotion to duty set a shining example for all Americans. My fellow citizens, hold them in high esteem that they have so unquestionably earned. Whether they served in the Army, the Navy, Air Force, Marines, or Coast Guard, I salute the contributions that they have made. I join all of you here and all Americans in expressing our deepest appreciation. I thank you all for coming today. Unlike most, you gave thought to the meaning of this national holiday. You chose to mark its very serious intent. I thank you also for showing your devotion to our nation's war dead by observing Memorial Day. I thank you for your patriotism, your commitment to the men and women of our armed forces, and I ask that God please bless our troops and God bless America. Thank you all.
Our next speaker is State Representative Paul Hero. Paul, please.
Thank you, Colonel Julie Hall, and to all the members of the Armed Forces, past and present, thank you for your service. There's a word that comes to mind that doesn't quite do justice, but it's the closest thing I can think of for, to describe Memorial Day, and that's just gratitude. All of us are here today because of the sacrifices that people before us have made. And with that, there's just, no words that can capture that sense of gratitude, the sense of thanks that we're able to gather here today. A lot of people across America, unfortunately, think of Memorial Day as the unofficial start of summer or a good day to get a mattress, on sale. And it's really an unfortunate thing that too many folks have forgotten what Memorial Day is all about, but I think it's very clear to the ceremony we have here today that every one of you do remember. And for that, our veterans past and present, thank you, as do I. One of the things that I recently read was something that George Patton said, General George Patton, and it was in respect to how Memorial Day is often a day for celebration to too many folks. Well, what General Patton said was the celebration that we can have, and I'm paraphrasing, is that people who are being celebrated on Memorial Day, lived. We should be thankful that such people lived and, did the service that they did. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Colonel Julie Hall, and thank you again, Colonel and Carl Bradshaw. Thank you for all the service you've done to Attleboro.
Thank you, Thank you, Representative Hero, for those kind words about veterans. Our next speaker is Kate Jackson, who is speaking on behalf of Senator James Timilty, who could not be with us today, but make sure that every time he's able to deliver his message about veterans. So Kate, please come forward. This one? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Colonel Hall. And good morning. I think it's still morning, I'm not sure. I'm bringing you greetings from Senator Jim Timilty, who could not be with you today because Senator has a very large district. So that's a one really good thing about my job is that when he's busy doing something else, the rest of the staff gets to go to these kinds of parades and events and fill in for him. So I'm very, very happy to be here to represent the Senator. And I will be brief. As we gather here at Veterans Triangle in beautiful Capron Park, we see around us many monuments and memorials. Let us be mindful that these structures are here to remind us of the service and sacrifices made by so many fine men and women who have gone before us. If we fail to remember this, then these memorials mean nothing. The same is true with Memorial Day. Let us not take for granted our freedom and liberty. Memorial Day is and should always be a day to remember and pay homage to so many patriots that have made so many sacrifices to ensure that we have the honor to live in the land of the free and the home of the brave. So when we depart from this ceremony to be with friends and families and perhaps join in a barbecue to kick off the summer season, let's not forget the true meaning of Memorial Day and be thankful to our veterans and Americans who have paid the price for our freedom. Thank you. And our next speaker, of course, is our beloved mayor, Mayor Kevin Dumas.
Thank you, everyone, and good afternoon. It's wonderful to be with you here at Capron Park on Memorial Day. And it's so fitting that the parade ends right here at Memorial Triangle, and we're represented here in Capron Park with memorials from every war or conflict that we've gone through as a nation. And it's on this day that we get together and remember and honor those men and women who gave of themselves so that we can remain free, that we can have the rights and privileges that we have of Americans every single day. And as I was thinking of my words for today, one of the things that came to mind of why did these people go and serve their country as we honor them on this day? And they did so because they believe. They believe in America. They believed in what our freedoms represent to all humankind that live in the United States of America and how we are so fortunate. And we today are here because we remember and we believe and we honor their value of what they gave to all of us, and that continues to happen every single day for all the men and women who continue to serve our great country so that we can have what we have here today. We are very, very fortunate. Attleboro honors its veterans. We'll always continue these memorial services every single year to make sure that we honor and remember all those who gave so much of themselves so that we can still honor and to be able to have that here in this great country. So thank you to all those men and women who continue to serve. We honor them. And take an opportunity, if you see a man or woman in uniform, take a moment and say thank you. Look at them and say thank you for your service and see what it means to them. And I can't tell you how many times, whether I'm in an airport or a store or traveling, and take the moment to say that and to see the look that comes across their face. And they just say, you're welcome. Or they'll just give a gentle nod, whatever the sign of reflection is, but it means so much, and that we need to do that as Americans, as we also need to do what we're doing here today, and remember and honor our veterans. So thank you so much. Thanks for gathering as a community, and we will be back again next year. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for those kind words about veterans. And we know you're a big advocate of the veterans here in Attleboro, and we certainly do appreciate that. Our next group of speakers actually is President of the City Council, Mr. Frank Cook. And I'd ask that all the other elected officials come forward at this time with Mr. Cook. Thank you.
Good morning. All right, I guess it's afternoon by now. Before I begin, I just want to introduce and thank the other elected officials who came here today. To my right, Councilor Brian Kirby, Councilor Richard Conti, our collector, Deb Marcosio, City Councilor Walter Thibodeau, City Councilor Peter Blair, and City Councilor Heather Parikh. I just want to thank them for being here today. Right. I also want to thank those who in preparation for this day, went around the city of Attleboro. I know a lot of those people I'm speaking of are people sitting in front of me here, as well as some of the scouts who helped to decorate the various graves, and have brought back memories of doing that with my father several years ago, decorating the graves of his comrades in the city of Boston. And yesterday being at Woodlawn Cemetery and Newell Cemetery and seeing those flags flying, it just meant so much. Last month was the conclusion of the 150th anniversary of our Civil War, time that tore our nation apart. And as we all know, Memorial Day sprang out of that event with Decoration Day in 1868 eventually becoming the holiday that we have now. And as I was thinking about Memorial Day and thinking about this service, I was reminded of back in July of 2013, my wife Sandy and I went down to Gettysburg. The reason we went there was for the 150th anniversary of that battle, one of the most climatic battles in history, largest battle ever fought on the North American soil. And part of the reason we were there was to commemorate my great-grandfather, who was a 20-year-old immigrant from Germany, only here a few years, was among the line of defense for the Union to the west of Gettysburg in that morning when the Confederates came marching in. The day before the celebration actually began in 2013, the night before on the 30th, my wife and I were over at the military park there, where it was one of our first national military cemeteries. And I had the privilege, with others, of going around and decorating, placing flags on the various graves. And in the area where I was, row upon row, every one of them was marked unknown. And I was reminded of the Tomb of the Unknowns in Arlington National Cemetery. And there it adds that known but to God. And it's just amazing to see all of these graves, over 3,500 graves of soldiers who died in 3 days of fighting at Gettysburg. Some 4.5 months later, as we know, President Abraham Lincoln went there to dedicate that ceremony. And he was the last minute person asked to speak, and he only spoke actually for a couple of minutes. But the words that he spoke on that day, as one who studies history, I've often thought, speak to all those who put on our nation's uniform and all the wars that have followed. And in it also is a challenge. And as you know, Lincoln wrote the words that 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. He went on to say, now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so dedicated and so conceived can long endure. He added, we are men on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that the nation might live. And he added, it is altogether fitting and proper that we do this. And then he added some key words, but in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. And as I placed the flags on those graves that day, these words came to mind. Because Lincoln went on to say, the brave men, living and dead who struggled here, have consecrated far above our poor power to add or detract. And he noted the world will little note no longer remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. And I've often thought about wars since then, and especially the one that I'm most connected to through my father, World War II, and how true these words still are, even today, some 70 years after those hostilities ended. But Lincoln added a challenge for all of us. It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that those dead have not died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. May God bless America and the city of Attleboro. Thank you. I guess we're staying for a moment. I also want to, on behalf of the council, I wanted to publicly thank Carl Bradshaw, who's moving on as our Veterans Director. It's been a pleasure, Carl, working with you, and we'll totally miss you, but thank you so much for your service to our city and to veterans everywhere. Thank you.
And I think we have a representative from the DAV.
Military Order of the Purple Heart.
For the Military Order of Purple Heart. I'm sorry. Today we have a special presentation. Let me do this right because it deserves to be done properly, the Purple Heart. Today we have a special presentation. Leo Agnew from the Massachusetts chapter of the Military Order of the Purple Heart will now present a plaque. Please join me in a warm welcome for Mr. Agnew.
I'd like to introduce Junior Vice Commander Tom Terrian. I'd like to give you a brief history of the medal. In 1782, General George Washington designed what he called the Badge of Merit. It was a heart-shaped piece of felt with white lace, and across it was embroidered merit. He passed this to his officers, an NCO, and some enlisted men for act of bravery. In 1932, General Douglas MacArthur went to Congress and designed what is now known as the Purple Heart Medal, because there was no Purple Heart given in World War I to the veterans that were killed or made the ultimate sacrifice. That's a brief history of the Purple Heart Medal. I'm going to let my junior vice read the certificate of acknowledgement to the city of Attleboro. Tom?
Department of Massachusetts Combat Wounded Veterans Military of the Purple Heart. Certificate of Acknowledgement presented to the City of Attleboro, Massachusetts. Being designated as a city in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to be known as the Purple Heart Community, honoring all who have made the ultimate sacrifice and shed their blood defending our country in all wars from Attleboro, Massachusetts. In honoring August 7th as Purple Heart Day. All gave some gave all. And we'd like to present it to the mayor.
Everybody's here. We can?
Why don't you have her come up in front? She's short. Yeah, that is.
Is that good?
That's good. Okay, you gotta get in more.
Squeeze in. Make believe you love each other. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's a great honor for the city. Thank you.
so much. Appreciate being here.
Thank you very, very much. We're very honored. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
You
it.
do so much for the veterans.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have a little applause? What a great honor for the city of Attleboro. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Now, if you bear with me for just a moment, thank you. If you bear with me for the moment, I'd like to ask Carl Bradshaw to come forward and join me here. Ian. You know, this is a sad day for many, many reasons. But a sad day, where's Carl? But a sad day in particular. On behalf of our veterans of Attleboro, I'd like to say a few words about Carl Bradshaw, who's leaving the position of Veteran Service Agent for the City of Attleboro after 5 years or more of dedicated service. I'd like to also congratulate Carl on his being awarded the Disabled American Veterans Agent of the Year for the state of Massachusetts. Thank you. That's just awesome, Carl. Awesome. I'm certain if you ask any veteran who has had the pleasure of meeting Carl, there would be a story that justly describes his service. But I can only tell you about mine, and hope that this story that justly describes his service will connect with many that call him friend. When I first arrived in Attleboro, about 2010 is when I met Carl. I was only 1 year off of my 30 years of active duty service. Despite my grade, or maybe because of it, I found integrating into civilian life to be very difficult. Carl, a seasoned veteran service agent, said, "Aha, I've seen this before." He quickly started sharing events, saying, "Hey, why don't you come with us, do a flag raising ceremony at Bristol Community College." I remember that day because everybody was looking at me and looking at him, because at that time, Carl was a lieutenant colonel, and of course I was a colonel, and they were wanting to see who was going to be in charge. But Carl, he made sure we stood side by side, just like you saw here today. I couldn't say it any better than what happened today. This simple gesture was very respectful and reminded me that I was not alone. My other comrades, who all understood what I was going through, were also there to help, and from then on, there were nudges to join the local posts, start getting involved in my new and permanent community. As the Veteran Service Agent, Carl has helped many to find their way through cumbersome forms of paperwork, making sure they receive their benefits, and to assist the widows and families of service members who qualified for the financial assistance. All of that is very true. But I'd like to think that Carl's most important job was to help the veteran transition. Carl's job was to bring us home. Carl's job was to bring us back home safely. And for that, I will always be grateful to Carl Bradshaw. Now, on behalf of the veterans of Attleboro, I'd like to present you with this very fitting Minuteman. Actually, this is a Minuteman in progress. Carl will be getting an award that looks just like this, but I'd like to read the inscription that's going to go on Carl's award. Carl Bradshaw, a soldier, comrade, and true friend to all veterans. Your service to our brothers and sisters in arms will forever be remembered, the veterans of the great city of Attleboro. Thank you, Carl, so much.
Raise this up a little bit. Well, thank you, Colonel Hall, and it's been a pleasure working with you. And what she said about me, right back at her. She is somebody I can turn to, somebody I can get advice from, and it's been a wonderful team effort here. I appreciate that. Since, as many of you know, this will be our last Memorial Day in Attleboro, I'd like to say a few words as we bring this ceremony to a close. So it is going to end soon. First, I want to thank Colonel Hall and the other members of the War Veterans Council for helping put this parade and ceremony together. Great job. Didn't they do a great job? I won't soon forget the many good times I've had here in Attleboro over the last 5.5 years. Getting to be part of the Massachusetts Honorary Sergeant Major Irene Davies' life was very special for me. Being a part of the Veterans Memorial Pavilion at Lease Pond and watching veterans give back to their community was an amazing experience. Providing assistance and advice to some 20 to 30 veterans or their dependents every day was as gratifying as it was challenging. Planning, coordinating, directing, and sometimes just participating. That's when it was my favorite, when I could just participate in a ceremony. In some 20 or so events like this each year is something I will miss. I'll never forget the 100th anniversary celebration, and I'm so glad I was a part of it. So as I go to the Blackstone Valley District VSO office, I'm bringing with me many great memories that I will cherish. To the many individuals and organizations, too many to name here, that helped me along the way, thank you very much. Thank you to the veterans and veterans organizations of Attleboro for being a part of my journey. For those I worked with almost every day, including the van drivers, Colonel Hall, Ed Stanton, Al Vayu, Paul Pouliot, Dick McCurney, Phil Audette, and my trusted assistant, Connie Uriot, I simply could not have done it without you. I was lucky to have so many family and friends here in my hometown. I was very fortunate to serve in Attleboro, where my father, a veteran, still living here, with the Brewers, Lepers, Bradshaws, and Desmonds. They'll keep me coming back. Another generation was born at Sturdy to my nephew and niece, Jay and Crystal Desmond, and I hope my great niece, Juliana, will enjoy the greatness of Attleboro for many years to come. She is truly a treasure. Where is she? There she is, right there. I began my military and veterans journey 34 years ago. I've bounced around the world and back again during peace and combat, not knowing when or how I might settle down. When I married Susie Brewer many years ago, my surprise wedding present to my new bride was me singing a karaoke version of Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run. My favorite part of that song was "Someday, girl, and I don't know when, we're going to get to the place that we really want to go, and we'll walk in the sun." And I look forward to taking that walk with you, Susie, here shortly. Thank you for everything. And with that, I want to thank you all. God bless Attleboro. God bless these United States of America. Ladies, take it away.
Sound off, sound off over hill over dale as we hit the dusty trail, and those caissons go rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, counter march around about, and those caissons go rolling along. And it's high, high, he in the field artillery. Sound off your numbers loud and strong. Where'er you go, you will always know that the caissons are rolling along. Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to foreign shores, we sail at break of day. To our last night on shore, drink to the foam. Until we meet once more, here's wishing you a happy voyage home. Here is the Coast Guard marching song, our song we sing on land or sea. Through surf and storm and howling gale, high shall our purpose be. Semper Paratus is our guide, our fame, our glory too. To fight, to save, or fight and die, aye, Coast Guard, we are for you, for you. Hulls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honored creed. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. Attaboys, give her the gun. Give 'em the down we dive, starting our flag from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, we'll go down in flame, for nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. Hooray for the flag of the free. May it wave as our standard forever. The gem of the land and the sea. It's the banner of the right, of the right. We'll always remember the day when our fathers with mighty endeavor proclaimed as they marched to the fray that by their might and by their right it waves forever, forever, the USA.
Wow, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you, the people that are out there, for continuing to support and to remember those that have gone before, to make sure that the freedom of this country stays the way it is, to make sure that we have the rights that we have, and keep a strong country. Thank you again, and have a great Memorial Day. Thank you. And thank you, ladies. Dismissed.
Thank you. What a great, what a great program. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the comments. Oh my gosh, this is so special.